Did you know that it was Invader Zim that led to The Last Airbender being created? In 2002, Brian Konietzko was the art director for Invader Zim. He and his team just came off the high of season 1 of that show and were headed straight into a 20-episode order for season 2, just for it to be cancelled. But if it wasn't for that cancellation, it would not have led Brian to, quote, float as long as he could on his savings as he worked on his own idea. Do you want to guess what that idea was? No, it was not Avatar: The Last Airbender. At the time, Brian was really into Cowboy Bebop, like really into it. So much so that he wanted to make his own oddball spacey adventure with a robot Cyclops monkey, a balding tax lawyer in his 40s wearing a killer futuristic outfit, and a bipedal polar bear dog. Are you seeing some of these early influences coming about? For one, the Cyclops monkey had an arrow on its head, the balding guy was, well, bald, and the bipedal polar bear dog is very similar to what will become of a certain animal companion, and another one. Now, if Brian had been working with Cartoon Network or some other animation studio, a show with these 3 original characters might have been greenlit, but his contacts were all within Nickelodeon Studios, so he had to change tack. And with that, Eric Coleman, the man who would later become the executive producer of The Last Airbender, told Brian that Nickelodeon would not be looking for a show with the characters he described. Instead, they were looking for something more in line with Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings, which were extremely big at that time. Stories that had a lot of lore, adventure without violence, and magic. Therefore, these original characters sort of morphed into new ones, with that starting trio being Aang, Momo, and Appa. But that's not the most interesting thing about this story. For me, the big draw of Avatar: The Last Airbender is that it always had this dark undercurrent, from subjects of war, genocide, domestic violence, revenge, and all the rest. Brian's sensibilities were certainly more adult to start off, and heck, the guy was working on Invader Zim, which was all kinds of dark. And it was perhaps this balance between Brian Konietzko's typical and more natural sensibilities, which were adapted to Nickelodeon's more wacky and carefree nature, which gave us the masterpiece that is The Last Airbender. As I said before, had this all taken place on a different network, we could have gotten something very different. And we all have to give props to Invader Zim for crashing and burning. It's because the alien show burned that The Last Airbender could rise from its ashes. So I guess we all should be thankful for its failure? Great show as it was, we got something very special with The Last Airbender. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Are you grateful to Invader Zim? Do you think they both could have existed at the same time? Or was it the natural flow of production? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace, love, and remember, be water, my friends.